of me! Oh man, it is that time of year. This time of year. The winter time of year. Yeah, it's sunny, but it's winter. And it's March! I'm just in the last throes of this illness. I don't know, it's just something I had, but it knocked me out for like 3 or 4 days. I couldn't do anything. It came on last week, and it actually is a week today that I'm now just kind of getting back to about 90%. And I thought, what a great time to talk about healthcare and things like this. So I read a rather interesting article in the Washington Post that I'll link to in the show notes. It said something kind of interesting. It was basically saying that 30% of Americans don't get any sick leave whatsoever. None. Like, not at all. Like, you gotta come into work. Too bad. It really stood out to me because I couldn't do anything over the last few days. And if I had to go into work, I probably would have been completely unproductive, and I probably would have gotten some people sick. That's some good tea. So I want to talk about this for a second because I think it illustrates a place in our national conversation where ideology deeply, deeply, deeply leads us to really, really bad and unproductive, unpragmatic conclusions. So here's what I mean by that. You can almost hear the counter argument in your head, like, well, Brendan, what'll happen if, people get sick leave, they're just gonna take days off that they're not really sick for or something like this. Yeah, maybe that'll happen. In France, this German girl I dated in Paris, who shall remain unnamed in case this gets out, she sometimes would end up taking sick days that we would end up going and hanging out downtown Paris or something, but what's the point? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Here's the bigger point. A study recently showed in Connecticut that adding sick days to an average worker's schedule actually improves productivity by 15%. And you can imagine why. Because the sick people don't have to be at the office, so they're not pissed off to be working, and they're not getting other people sick. Like, that is the craziest thing about this. If I had to go into work over the last few days, and I was feeling as badly as I felt, I would have hated my job, and I would have infected everyone. Not out of spite, just out of, biology. But instead, I got to sit home and do some resting, which was awesome, drink some tea. So here's some statistics that maybe should scare you a little bit. 88% of managers and financial professionals get sick leave, but only 40% of service workers. 40% of service workers. That's nuts. That's the waitress who's delivering you your lunch. That's the guy who made your lunch. That's the guy who washed the dishes on which your lunch is being served. That's the guy who cleaned the table that your dishes are sitting on during lunch. So if any one of those people is not feeling well, they have to come in and serve you your lunch. Think about that. We have this rugged individualism that Americans love to have, keep government out of business and out of my life and all this kind of stuff. All those conservative talking points that you can imagine people saying on Fox News. But here's the problem. They're wrong. They're pragmatically wrong. That type of thinking is unproductive and is causing other people's lives, all of our lives, to be worse because of it. They're not saving people money, they're not bettering or causing us more freedom or any of this other crap, so I don't understand. I'd love to hear what you think. Leave a comment below. Hit that subscribe button, of course. Hit that subscribe! Subscribe! Hit that subscribe button. Meanwhile, the madness continues.